Good evening for all of you. Am I audible for everybody? Yes. So today, what is our topic name? Today, what is our topic name, which I said in the yesterday's class? PDBC. PDBC. Okay. So we are going to talk about Python database. Come on, ma. Python database. PDBC. Python database communication. Python database communication. Okay. Python database communication. That is PDBC. Okay. This is a topic we are going to learn it. Yes. So first time you are learning Python database communication. So before going to that, why this database communication is important? So previously, if we look at the concept of files, already we discussed it. Why do you use files? Extension of files, we are entering into that. Extension of files. Come on, ma. What is the use of files? Quickly try to understand and try to quickly understand this information. Python database files. What is the use of files? Everybody. To store the data permanently. To store the data permanently. To store the data permanently, we use the concept of what? Files. We use the concept of files. Okay. So to use the concept of files, we use it. Okay. We achieved the persistency by using pickling and unpickling, and we have done that. Now, why we are going for Python database communication? So before going to enter into the database communication, first we must understand the limitations of files. What is that? Limitations. Limitations of files. We need to understand. What will be the limitations of files? Okay. See that. So first limitation of files. Already we learned files concept. We are going to get it. What is the first limitation of files? First limitation of file. Let us see, for example, in last session, you see. In the last session, if you remember, our 6 p.m. files concept, our files name yesterday is called student.info. Student.info is our pickle program information. See this file name. Can I remove now? Can I remove this file now? Yes. How do you remove? I can say delete. I can say delete. If I say delete, that will be deleted. It's gone. That means, do you have security for the files? Do you have the security for the files? No. So the first point does not contain security. Does not contain what? Security. Files concept does not contain security. Because I can write, because files concept of any language, not able to provide files concept of any language. Files concept does not contain security, because files concept of any language does not provide username and password. Does not provide username and password. Files concept does not contain security, because files concept of any language does not provide username and password. That is the first point. Here, files, data which is present in the files does not contain column names. Does not contain what? Column names. Try to understand this carefully. Try to understand very carefully here. I'm taking paint here. Let's watch this now. What is this? Something new today. Something is new. Something is new in my system. Something new. Microsoft Paint. Something photos. Paint. Something looking different in today's session. Paint. MS Paint, huh? Okay. MS Paint. MS Paint is storing there. Paint only. Something new today is something showing new. Okay, let it be. You take our case. You take our case. Yesterday's class, to try to understand today, I will take it. Take the file called what? Oh, okay. So student data. Windows is different. Same. I started Windows 10 only. Okay. Anyhow, you just try to understand. No problem. You come to student data info. You take it. Yesterday, student data what? Info. So this is also looking nice. No problem. So it is also looking like a real board, which is containing number is called what? What is the yesterday's class? Number 10. For example, row sum. And next is called some 10.11, 10.11, 10.11. Okay, no problem. Just don't worry about the settings and all. Just observe it. Next is called 20. Next is called 20. Richie. And next is called 40.44. 40.44. No problem. Let us watch. No problem. So coming to the next part of it. There we are understanding about here like that 30, something like something like JM. I will write something like 20.22. So if you carefully understand, this is a record. When we come to this is a record, okay, we understand that this is a record, but what are this information? What is this information? Try to understand. What is this information? This information, there is no column name for that. There is no column name. There is no column name for this. If yourself and myself knows that 10, 20, 30 are called what? 10, 20, 30 are called what? Student numbers. RS, these things are comes under what? Names. These are called what? Marks they are called. These are called marks. So I'm going to give you the clarity here. I'm giving the clarity here. These are called numbers. These are called names. These are called marks. So number, name, marks. So coming to that number, name, marks. So here we know that these are numbers, but there is no column name officially. When there is no column names, we cannot understand that what is this data is meant for. That's why I can mention here files concept does not provide column names. Does not provide what? Column names. Column names cannot provide. So that processing the data is complex. Processing the data is called what? Complex. Files concept does not provide column names, so that Processing the data is complex. Processing the data is what? Complex. And unable to retrieve the data. So that's why processing the data is difficult. And I hope you are understanding this. Is it understandable? I'll show the database also. Is it understandable? Come on, quickly try to understand, all of you. This is processing the data is complex because it does not provide what? Does not provide column names. So that processing the data is complex. And next term, files, the structure of the file, I will write it. The structure of the file, the structure of what? Files changes from one OS to another OS, from one OS to another OS, from one OS to what? Another OS. It changes from one OS to another OS. So files are dependent on OS, not independent to OS, because my project may run on Unix, my project may run on Unix, Linux, Windows. So it changes the file structure from one OS to another OS. And the last part is files are unable to store large amount of data. Unable to store what? Large amount of data. Large amount of data, we cannot store it. Limitations of files. Files concept does not contain security because files concept of any language does not provide username and password. Files concept does not provide column names, so that processing the data is complex. The structure of files changes from one OS to another OS. Files are unable to store large amount of data. Unable to store what? Large amount of data. So this comes under what? Limitations of files. Hence, to overcome the limitations of, I am writing here, hence, to overcome the limitations of files, to overcome the limitations of files, we must use the concept of what? Database. We must use the concept of what? Database. Database softwares. That too, which satisfies RDBMS rules. So to understand this, RDBMS rules, right? And you to understand this part of it, so to understand this part of it, we must have the database knowledge. My dear students, you must know little Oracle knowledge, because when I'm communicating with the Oracle, RDBMS rules, RDBMS products are what? Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL. There are so many number of databases are available. So structure of the file is nothing but something like I drawn something like this. It is not available in all the files like this. It is changing in Unix. This is called structure. Ravi Teja. Look at that. This is called structure that may change from one OS to another OS. It may not be same in all the places. I hope that it is clear, I think so, for all of you. I hope it is clear for all of you. Am I clear, my dear students? Good. So how we can go for that? If I go to the database, you will be having some different structure will be there. Suppose if I take it, employee, because it is going to be something different. If it is a database, it is going to be something different. I will show you that. First of all, this should be more clear. It should be more clear. Is it clear? Limitations are clear. Yes. So to overcome these limitations, we'll go for what? RDBMS rules. That is what I am coming to this. Now I'm going to come. So I'm going to come. Since come on to the point of it. Since the files of Python, since the files of Python are containing limitations, straightforward I am coming, containing what? Limitations. Carefully follow all of you. Containing limitations. Industry highly recommended. Today I am giving the introduction. All of you should so carefully to understand. Introduction I will give you. Since files of Python are containing limitations, industry is highly recommended to communicate, recommended to use database softwares. Right. What is the use of database softwares? Which satisfies, I will write, which satisfies, I will write, which satisfies what? RDBMS rules. RDBMS rules. Right. What is the purpose of the databases? Now I am writing. The main purpose of database softwares is that, come on, all of you, is that to achieve, come on, I am waiting for your answer, is to achieve, I'm waiting, to achieve the data persistency. Already this word is written. To achieve the data persistency. What do you mean by data persistency? What do you mean by data persistency? Storing the data permanently. Storing the data permanently is called what? Data persistency. Storing the data permanently is called data persistency. Good. How many storing the data permanently? What are the examples? Here? The examples are like this. What are the examples here? Oracle is an example of RDBMS product, and MySQL is an example of RDBMS product, and PostgreSQL is an example of RDBMS product. Like the DB2, I will write DB2. I will write it DB2. Next is called what? SQL Server, comma, MongoDB, etc. SQLite 3, SQLite 3, etc. These are all comes under what? RDBMS products. Examples of RDBMS products. And most of the time we use this two. Okay. And people can't discuss this database communication because we are having a special unique curriculum of my classes. So that's why I'll discuss this Oracle and MySQL. You must have the knowledge on database. Dear students, once again I am saying you must have the knowledge on the database. So how we are going to do this? What are the advantages of database software? Now I am writing advantages of database softwares. Advantages of database softwares in data persistency, in achieving the data persistency. Advantages of database softwares in achieving the data persistency are simply advantages of database softwares. Okay, database softwares. What is the first part here? We are going to understand. Advantages of database softwares. Okay, right. So first point I'm going to discuss. Advantages of database softwares. First point. So there the first point you see. What is the first point? Not able, they are unsecured because it does not provide a username and password. Here I'm writing. All RDBMS products like MS Access you take it, which is not an RDBMS product. There also file is there, but we can access it as a database. So it is not a database then. So we are going to use RDBMS. All RDBMS products, all RDBMS database softwares. I can say provides a security. All RDBMS database softwares provides security. All RDBMS database softwares provides security. Okay, my dear students. In the form of see that in the form of username, and password. So in my class, I have the Oracle software. Look at that Oracle software. Oracle. Here I am having SQL plus. See that SQL plus. All of you should understand SQL plus. It is going to this place. I will just increase something like this. So let me go for it. There I am having something like username. It is asking username. It is having in my system Scott. Username is Scott. Password Tiger I gave. In this my installation Tiger. Then only SQL prompt is coming. When something is entering wrong, it cannot. So practically provides what? Username and password. So that data is confidential. So that we can do the data is confidential. Files data is not confidential because it is not providing username and password. Are you understanding, my dear students? All RDBMS database softwares are secured, provides a security in the form of username and password. So the data is confidential. Yeah. Second point I'm writing, second advantage I'm writing. What is the second advantage? Second advantage I'm writing. What is that? Files concept does not provide column names. So that processing the data is complex. In the case of this Oracle, see that some data I will take it. Select star from. Don't worry about it. This is called select star from DEPT. You see that 10, 20, 30, 40 is called a department number. Department is called tables. I'm giving the overview about this Oracle. I'm talking about Oracle with Python. So Oracle knowledge must be there for you. DPTNO is called column name. DNAME is called column name. Location is called column name. 10, 20, 30, 40 are called department numbers. Accounting, research, sales and operations is called DNAME. New York, Dallas, Chicago, Boston is called locations. So every database is containing column names so that I can retrieve the data more easily. How do you retrieve the department numbers? You see, I will write here DEPTNO from department. I'm getting the data. This much easily we cannot get the data from our database files. I will write a DNAME. I'm getting DNAME. I'm getting the DNAME. I got it. Next I will get the location. I got LOC. I got it. Whatever I want. Location, DNAME and location I will get it. DNAME comma location I will get it. DNAME and location I got it. I will get it. DNO also I can get it. DNO comma DNAME. Only DNO and DNAME. Whatever you want you can get it. DEPTNO. I got the data. Next this is called a DEPTNO and then I got it like this. From this DEPTNO I got it, DNAME I got it. DEPTNO I got it, DNAME I got it. Information I got it. I hope you are understanding what I am talking. Is it understandable? So come on to the point of it. Here I am saying that retrieving the data, you see, files concept does not provide a column name. So processing the data is complex. So I say querying the data, first word I am using, querying the data. That is nothing but querying. A query is nothing but a request to the database to do some type of operation. Yes, Manvita, exactly. Querying the data. That is nothing but processing the data. From the database software. From the database softwares is easy. Moreover, yes, Muhammad, some name. I don't know. Mahinder. Oracle is different. These are all called RDBMS product. They are called different database courses. Are both of them are same or different? It is your question. When they are same, why they will develop different? My dear student, Mahinder, all of them are going to be different, but all the RDBMS rules are same. That's what I said. Whether they are different or something, I have to explain the course for you. You must have the knowledge on this area. Okay, please take care, because I am not a Oracle faculty here to explain the databases here. So I'm saying to you, that's what beginning onwards, Oracle knowledge must be there. At least one RDBMS products knowledge must be there. Querying or processing the data from database software is easy. In the database software, as you have seen that Oracle, this DEPT is called a table name. What is that? Table name. How we are going to store the data in our previously file name, but here it is storing in where? Table in database, table in the database. DEPT is called what? Table name. In where? Oracle database. Just for a minute if you wait, you see all of you. Here I am having, this is my database. See, this is my Oracle database. This is called Oracle database. For example, this is called my Oracle database. In this Oracle database, DEPT is called what? One table. Employee is called another table. First, I will give introduction also to it. Nothing to worry. In that, what will be there? Column names are there. In this, department number is one column. D name is one column. Location is. I will create the table also. Don't worry. I will show you. But already you must have the knowledge on this. Employee number, employee name, salary, designation. I will create multiple columns. Don't worry. So DEPT and EMP are called what? Two column names, two tables. These are called tables here. They are called what? Tables. These are called tables. Right? So coming to the point of it, what is DEPT here? All of you, what is DEPT here? DEPT is called what? A table name. In which database you have this? In which database you have? In Oracle database. So now I am going to say querying or processing the data of a table from database software is easy. Third point I am going to write it. Third point, you see the structure of the files changes from one OS to another OS. Here, the structure of all RDBMS products remains the same in all OSs. The structure of RDBMS products remains the same in all OSs. Fourth, I am going to talk about it. Fourth. What is the fourth part here? Files are unable to store large amount of data. Here, database can store large amount of data. So database softwares, RDBMS products, RDBMS products stores large amount of data. These are the advantages of a database software. Now I am coming to that. Slowly I am coming to that. Definition of database. Definition of what? Database. What is the database? Collection of. Come on. I want to maintain my student database. Your database, number, name, marks, college name, like that. I want to maintain your database. Definition of database software. What is the database? Collection of data. Collection of meaningful data. Collection of systematic data. Information is different. Information is not a processed format. Information is always in the format of what? Information is always in the format of unstructured. Data is always in the form of structural. Right? So database is a collection of database is a collection of what? Information. A database is a collection of meaningful data. I can say meaningful data. Yes, meaningful data. Organized in the form of tables. Organized in the form of tables. A database is a collection of meaningful data organized in the form of tables. Let us see the example. What is my database? Student is my database. Here I am writing student. So see carefully. I am taking here. There I am writing student is a data which I am having. What is this? STNO. Next I am writing what? S name. Next I am writing marks. See carefully. These are called column names. Carefully observe it. I will write 10. I will write row sum. And I will write what 88.88. 20. Next is called Richie. Next is called 99.99. 99.88. 30. And next is called Gosling. I will write here and I will write something like 77.77. Next is called 40. Something like Jim. I will write something like 66.66. What is this entire data is called? Dear students, try to get me quickly. I am writing there like this. What is my information? Try to understand very carefully here. So what is this? I am taking the information like this. Okay. So there I am going to say the information like this. Fine. So what is the student is called? All of you try to answer my question. Come on now. So today paint is not clear. That's why I'm trying to draw this. What is the student here? All of you should talk to me. What is the student is called? Yes, please. Table name. What are these marks and etc. are called? What are these things are called? Column names. What is this is called? Record 1. What is this is called? Record 2. And what is this is called? Record 3. What is this is called? Record 4. Record 1, record 2, record 3, record 4. Did you understand this? Even though paint is not working, so we should not feel that something we are getting it. Coming to the point of it. So this is called the databases here. So I'm talking about whatever it might be, Tausif, whether it is a cloud database or whatever it is, but the data will be stored in the form of database. Whether you are working on cloud database or whatever it is, your Python can communicate with any database. So I'm not talking about a particular varieties of databases here. I'm talking about any RDBMS products which is stored in the cloud or anywhere else, whatever it is. Right. So coming to the point back, next discussion here. How we are going to communicate with this? I want to get the numbers, names. I want to query the data. Querying is nothing but what? Inserting the record, deleting the record on the database, on the table of the database, on the table of what? Database softwares. We can perform operations like Operations like what you can perform. Inserting a record. I will explain. We will go for syntax and all. General knowledge I am talking. Inserting a record. Next is called what? Deleting a record. How to go for deleting and all those things. I'll write a program and I'll show you. Updating a record. Like next is called what? Selecting the records, etc. These are the different type of operations we can write it. Selecting the records and nothing but displaying the selecting and displaying. These are all called different type of operations we do it, etc. On the table of database softwares, we can perform operations like inserting a record, deleting a record, updating a record, selecting the record, etc. What are all these things are called? Different type of operations on the database softwares. Are you following? So whatever it might be the database, just the general knowledge I gave you. So advantages of database softwares and etc. I just gave you. Shall we move forward? These are all called what? Advantages of database softwares. And instead of writing this word, I will write it simple meaning like this. I'm just writing something like this. What I'm writing here, I'm going to enter into the beginning. So what is this now? Introduction to the database, advantages of data, introduction to database. See, once again, I'm asking you, this is nothing but I'm giving introduction to database, comma, advantages, and advantages. I can say advantages. Now I will enter into the actual movie. Yes, actual movie I'm going to enter, which is very, very simple to understand, not at all difficult. So let us start understanding about what is an operations. Up to here, are you getting the clarity on this, what I'm talking? Yes, my dear students. Let us save this information. Save this information. Go to our location. I say 1 minute, ma'am. I say 6 p.m. I say one folder. What is that folder name is? Python. I say Oracle. Python Oracle. So there I will take it notes. In that I will save it. Yes, my dear students. Let's come back. Now I am entering into the new discussion. I'm going to enter. Very, very simple, my dear students. Let's enter into the Python database communication. So Python database, okay, 1 minute. So I'm entering into Python database communication. Python database communication. So spelling mistakes. Communication, which is called shortly PDBC. In advanced Java, like it is a higher end topic of it. So like in advanced Java also, there is a separate course called JDBC. It is called a separate technology. It is called a separate part of it, which is there even in Python. So we are discussing both core Python as well as advanced Python. We are learning that entire discussion now. Now let us start the discussion in the class. Now, what is my language here? What is my language, my dear students, all of you? What is my language here? Python. To whom I am communicating with? Database. All of you say database. The first and foremost important thing, when I dealt with the OS related operations, which module I took it? My dear students? Yes, OS module. Which module? Yes, OS module I took it. Perfect. Similarly, I want to deal with one more type of something like any kind of operations you want to do it from now onwards, right? So before that, we used any kind of operations. From now onwards, want to take it, we need to take a module. We need to take a module. Are you following me? We need to take a module. So without a module, we cannot do the operations, because module provides what? All of you tell me what is module provides. Everybody must tell to me. Module will provide what? Some predefined functions or not? Modules will provide what, ma? Some predefined functions. Using that functions only, I can do my operation so simple. So to make our life to be simple in the software field, we must be perfect in the module level. So that's why data science level modules will be there, and any kind of operations you are using with Python, separate modules will be available. So today, when we are using Python to communicate with any database, we must use the corresponding module. First sentence I am writing. With the Python programming, with the SEMA, all of you, directly I am coming to the point. With the Python programming, to communicate with any database software, we must use corresponding module. Suppose my Python programming want to communicate with the Oracle, so that I must use the corresponding module. Then my Python program want to communicate with what? MySQL. MySQL I want to use it. MySQL I want to use it. Definitely I must use what? MySQL kind of database module I need to use it. Like that, even in the company, if tomorrow some new, when you change your company, they are using some new database, we need not to worry or need not to shake. We will find the module name, and that module we will use it. Now I am saying corresponding module, and it is not by default present in, and it is not present in Python software, and it is not, instead of not, and it is not enabled, by default in Python software. It is not by default enabled in Python software. The OS module you take it, which was enabled, which was an inbuilt module, which was available by default, right or not? Which was available by default. Next is called what? Like that, any module you take it. And first time you are going to see here, when Python is interacting with any database software, compulsory you are using the module name, which is not enabled in the Python software. So that I will write it. So that Python programmer must install corresponding database module, corresponding database module, corresponding what module? Database module, corresponding database module, by using corresponding database module explicitly by using a tool called pip, PIP, by using a tool called pip, very, very important. What is this pip? Pip is a tool which is present in our Python software. Where it is present, I will show you the location of it. I will show you the location of it. Observe it. Go to the Python. Python. In my system, Python 3.9 is there as well as Python 3.10 is there. Anywhere else you go. Ideally, you take it. Python 3.10, Python 3.9. You see there. Ideally you take it. Python ideally. Python ideally you take it. Ideally. See that it is opening. It is opening. Now there it is showing to you one option is there, ma. What is that option? File, open, scripts. See, scripts. Under that there is a all files you take it. Python files, no, all files. There is a pip is there, pip. It is a exe file. Pip 3.9 also no problem. Pip 3 also no problem. Any one of the tools you can take it. This tool is present in where? This place, this entire location. If you take it, okay, leave it, go to the 3.10. When you go to the 3.10, ideally you open it. Ideally, there you see, file open. There it is a scripts. Under that, you see all files you take it. 3.10 will be there. 3.10 will be there. Right or not? 3.10 will be there. So that kind of thing you are taking. So when we are taking this pip tool to install, pip is already installed along with your Python software only. That you need not to install separately. That tool we need to use it. Where is that pip tool? Are you understanding the where is the pip tool is available? Pip tool is available in where? In the Python 3.10 version scripts. Under that this is available. I will just take it. See, explicitly by using a tool called what? Pip, which is present in like this. I just written C:, in my system it is. Even in your system also, Python 3.10 scripts present, this part is there. Okay, pip 3.10 is there, pip 3.10. See that pip 3.10. Pip is there, pip 3 is there. Anything you use it. I hope, dear students, they are following me. Are you understanding? Yes. Now, example. Now I am giving the example. What is an example? If Python program want to communicate with what? Oracle database. See, dear students, all of you. If a Python program want to communicate with Oracle database, then we must install what? There is a module called CX_Oracle. This is the module name. You must remember this. CX_Oracle. See, my dear students, with a Python programming, to communicate with any database software, we must use the corresponding module. And it is not enabled by default in Python software. So that Python programmer must install corresponding database module explicitly by using a tool called Python 3.10, which is present into so and so place. Please remember that. Example. If Python program want to communicate with Oracle database, then we must install what? CX_Oracle. How to install it, sir? Example, install. Syntax I am going to say. Syntax. Here itself I will write syntax. Is an example, na? Syntax for installing the module name. What is that? Pip, wherever you like it. Pip, install CX_Oracle. You want to use pip 3.10, you can use it, no problem at all. 3.10, suppose you have 3.9, no problem, 3.9 you use it. pip 3.9, install cx underscore Oracle. That is nothing but module name. Module name. In further, I am going to use NumPy and Pandas. That also I must install like this only. NumPy and Pandas also by default not present in the Python software. They are third-party modules. I must install explicitly by using which tool. So from now onwards, people will ask you, what is the pip? What is the pip? It is a tool. It is a tool. It is a PIP only, not PIPI. It is a pip, PIP. It is a PIP. Which tool that is? Which tool that is? PIP. pip tool is used for what? Installing Raviteja Python tool, no ma'am. PIP is a tool used to install any sort of packages, any sort of modules which are not enabled in the Python software. Is it understandable? Is it understandable or not? First, I want to make it clear. What is a pip? If you say, then only I will move forward. Otherwise, I cannot move. So tomorrow you will enter into data science. There are some modules which we require, which are not enabled in the Python software. You have to install them or not? You have to install them or not? Yes. How do you install? Pip install module name. What is the module name? Module name of Oracle is what? Module name of Oracle is what? All of you tell me. Come on. In my system, module name is called what? This cx underscore Oracle. Cx underscore Oracle, which is need to install. Now come on. pip 3.10, because I like to use a 3.10 version. Install cx underscore capital. Cx underscore capital. pip 3.10 install cx underscore Oracle. pip 3.10 install and cx underscore Oracle. Okay. pip 3.10 install cx underscore Oracle. Are you able to follow? Are you able to follow? No, it's not mandatory. I told already. Please listen carefully. I told already. I told you. It is not mandatory to write 3.9 or 3.10 or something. You can use happily. You can use happily Python 3. Just 3 you can use it. Just as a fashionable statement, I wrote it. Python pip, I will use it. I just want to write version also. No problem. No problem. I can write pip also. Just no problem. No issue at all. I hope you are getting me. I hope you are getting my points. Is it understandable? Yes. Now, let us follow carefully. Now, move to the further discussion. Move to the further discussion. Now, can I install this Python now? Can I install this cx underscore Oracle now? Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Here, command prompt is required. So I will do it directly in my place, in wherever you like it. Wherever you like it. Where I like it, I would like to go for it. Wherever you like it. In 6 p.m., for example, go to that. It is directly going to the 6 p.m. KVR Python 6 p.m. This is called KVR Python 6 p.m. Come on fast. This is KVR Python 6 p.m. I am having something like this. Right. Here I can use it. Which tool I can use it? Which tool I can use it? Come on, everybody. Which tool? pip. Pip. I can use a pip. So see pip. Pip. Install. What is that? cx underscore what? Oracle. cx underscore Oracle. Need to remember carefully. Enter key. So sometimes it will give you an error. So pip is not recognized. Something like this, you will get it. Yes, it is giving an error. Not recognized. You need to set the path for it. Path, you need to set it. Even in your system also, when you do it, you will get the error. Error, you will get it. All of you should remember. You will get an error. When you install like this, when you install like that, you will get an error. So what is that? You will get an error. So here, you will get an error like this. This error, we got it. So this is called what? Error. Error. How do you overcome this error? How do you overcome this error? To overcome this error, we must set the path. We must set the path. How do you set it? It is like this. It is like this. Now I am setting the path. Set path is equal to, how do you say? Set path is equal to, set path is equal to, now I am giving the clarity. Set path is equal to this entire thing, whatever you have. I will use it. So how do you do that? As I told you now, go to that place, Python 3.10, ideally, whatever you like it, 3.9 or 3.10, whatever version you have. Go to open and say scripts. Under that, you ensure that all files, yes, these are the files. You take this and put it here. Set path is equal to, yes, you must say, here also you must paste that. Set path is equal to, be careful, here also I set it. That is for notes purpose. This is for execution purpose. Path is set. Now you say PIP, I am saying as a string, I am writing 3.10, I am writing, no problem, 3.10. You can use 3.3, Python 3 also, install. Now if you say this part, it is just showing like a progress bar. In your system, showing like a progress bar. Like how software will be installed, like that. It will be installing like this. 100% installed. You will be getting successfully installed. In my system, I was already installed because I shown you for different type of people, different batches. In my system, you will get a message called, this requirement was already satisfied. This requirement was already satisfied. Since you are installing newly in your system, you can get it like a progress bar, you will get it. After a few seconds, 100% installed successfully, like that you will get it. Now I'm pressing enter key. See that this requirement already satisfied. Did you understand? Even you are on the system, you can use this type of thing. If you are using 3.9, Python 3.9, install cx_Oracle, you will get an error. I set the path. So this type of message you will get it. Here you will get this type of message. Indicating that already installed. In your system, if you are already on the line, go to the command prompt, try to say this point. Set the path. To overcome this error, we must set the path. So this is what I got it. If it is installing newly, you will get a progress bar. Like how softwares are installing, you will get it. Yes, Kotesh, you need to go to the command prompt of our IDEs. Okay, then you need to do it. When I'm saying you follow that, don't go to your own direction. When I'm saying that, you try to install there. Try to follow. What industry doing, you try to follow. Yes, mono. Okay, install successfully, sir. Okay, very nice. Like that, you can do that. If you follow my guidelines, you can do. If you go in your own direction, I'm not responsible. Because what we follow in the industry, I'm saying to you. If you go in your own way, I'm not responsible for it. Okay, fine. I hope you are following. Are you able to install it? Yes. Let's move to the further. Yes, that entire information, this indicates that already I was installed in my system. Even after you install today, tomorrow if you reinstall again, you will get the same message like this. Requirement was already satisfied. So what I am ready with? What I am ready with? Which module was installed? Which module was installed? CX underscore Oracle. CX underscore Oracle. Next we must know about how to go for communicating with the database. How we are going to communicating with the database. Okay. So next we are entering into this is called installing the module name. Installing the module name. If I want to install MySQL time, I will tell you how to install the MySQL related information. Are you able to follow? So to see that whether it is installed or not, pip, I will say list. Pip list you say. See, when you say pip packages, these are installed. MySQL connector already installed. MySQL connector Python already installed. NumPy installed. Like that, some of them are already installed. Some of them are already installed. Libraries, these are called. Modules, they are called. Are you able to understand, my dear students? Pip list. These are the things which is already installed in my system. Very, very smooth. Next, we are supposed to understand steps for writing a Python program to communicate with the Oracle database. Very, very simple steps for communicating with the. Now I am going to enter into the steps for communicating with. Now I am writing steps for communicating with. What? Oracle database. Steps for communicating with Oracle database. So simple. Now I am going to give you the clarity here. Steps for communicating with Oracle database. What is that? Steps for communicating with Oracle database. Or communication between. Like that I will write it. There is a better word. Communication between what? Oracle and communication between Python and what? Oracle database. Communication between Python and Oracle database. Okay, right. Communication between Python and Oracle database. Very, very simple. To establish the communication between Python program and database software, we must go for steps. So now I am writing. The following steps are used. For establishing the communication between Python program and Oracle database software. What are those? I am writing step number 1. The steps are used. The following steps are used. I can write it. The following steps are used for establishing the communication between database software and all. So first step I am using it. First step I am using. What is the first step I am using? Right. Tell me. First step, tell me. I just forget. I want to see your idea, how you are using, how you are understanding. What is the first step? Can anybody can say? Import module. What is the module? Yes, sir. Jafar, good. Mono, good. All of you, good. Import. CX underscore Oracle. C O capital, C small, CX. Yesterday, import OS module. Import CX underscore Oracle. Second one. Okay. Now what is the second one? This is my Python program. And this is called what? database software, database software. This is called one different layer. This is called one different layer. This is called another different layer. This is called another different layer. This is called a layer 1 and a layer 2. Both of them are not homogeneous products. This is a Oracle Corporation. This is called what? This is called what? Different product, different product. So I need to get the connection. Python program must get the connection to what? Oracle database software. Python program must establish the connection between Python's program and database software. Am I correct? Simple. Between two villages, how the conversation is going on, how the transport system is going on. That is nothing but communication between these two. Come on. Python program must establish, must get the connection, from where? Oracle database. Is it okay? Second step is okay. There are simple 5 steps are there, nothing is there. Only 5 steps are there. 2 native places are there. Or 2 friends want to communicate in the telephone, in the mobile. How do you do? First, a connection will be established. Okay. Third step I am talking. Jafar, this module only contains one function, This module only contains one function. That function will establish the connection from which database? Oracle database. Jafar, are you getting, Jafar? Okay. So coming to the point of it, Python program must get the connection from Oracle database. Yes. Python program must get the connection from Oracle database. Import cx_Oracle. Python program must get the connection from Oracle database. Yes, I got it. Once a connection is established, this is my Python program. This is my database. Connection is established. Okay. Over the connection, this is called my Python program. This is my database software. Connection is nothing but something like a road. Between 2 native places. For example, this Python program want to send some query to the database. Want to execute that query and want to bring the result back. Am I correct or not? Over the road, I want to send one vehicle. In that vehicle, I will use the vehicle to put my request. Inserting record, deleting record, updating record, selecting records, I want to keep it. Did you understand the word called this vehicle? Over the road, I want to send one bus, one bike, one car, I want to. That car or bike or is called cursor. Create. See, very beautiful sentence. Create an object of cursor. In Python program. I will explain what is a cursor now. How to create it? All these things I will tell you programmatically. First step I am writing. What is the object of cursor, sir? An object of cursor is something like a carrier. It is a carrier to carry the query from your Python program to the database, execute that query and bring the result in the cursor object to hand over to you. Something like that, you are a person staying in Hyderabad and you are sending one car to the another state. That car will do the operation and bring the result back to the Hyderabad. What is that car? Is an object of cursor. Very regularly asking question, what is the cursor? Tell me, what is a cursor? A cursor is an object. How to create that object? I will tell you. A cursor is an object which is used to carry the query. Query is nothing but what? A request. A query is nothing but a request or a question to the database to get the data back. Did you understand the word called cursor? Yes, students, I'm waiting for your answer. A cursor is something like a vehicle which is ready. The empty vehicle is ready. Okay. Next, fourth point is what? Design the query, 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 comma, place it in the object of, place it in the object of what? Place it in the object of cursor, place it in the object of cursor, place it in the object of cursor. Okay, place it in the, design the query, place it in the object of cursor, comma, execute the query and gets the result from database software, and design the query, place it in the object of cursor, execute the query and gets the result from database software, and result from database software. That's it. And is not necessary. Design the query. I will design the query. A query is nothing but what? Like inserting a record, deleting a record, updating a record, reading the record, whatever it is, and place it in the object of cursor, because cursor is my vehicle already ready. It is like a passenger. Put it in the cursor object. That cursor object will bring the query to the database. Execute the query in the database, in the database software, and gets the result from database software, and hand over to the Python program. That's it. Python program. Hand over to the Python program. Very simple. Very easy. Hand over to the Python program. Yes. So once it is hand over to that, what this will do? Process. Python program process the result. How to process the result? I will tell you. Process the result. Whatever the result you brought it, that will be processed. How to process it? I will tell you. That's it. Step number 6, close the connection. It is an optional to close the connection, because we have the facility called auto connection closing facility in database. You need not to close it all. Automatically it will be closed. Need not to write any type of close option by yourself. Are you understanding? Easy na? Difficult? Is the steps are easy or difficult? Ma? All of you? Easy. They are just like drinking like a juice. Yes. I hope you are understanding easy. So how many steps? First step, import. Is this by default enabled? Is it by default enabled in Python software? Is it enabled in Python software? No. You have to install. Which tool you are using to install it? Which tool you are using? Pip tool you are installing. Yes, installed. Okay, we are importing. Yes, Python program must get the connection from Oracle database. How to get the connection? I will tell you. There is one function is there. How to create an object of cursor? There is one function is there. How to design the query, sending the query? There is one function is there. Python program process the result. There more type of program is there. One more type of is there. Close the connection. There is one more type of thing is available. Right? Done. Coming to the point of it, importing the module, close the connection and get it. These are the steps for doing that. My dear students, in detail, these steps must be discussed in detail in the next session. Next session, I will go for it. Explanation for all those things, we will get it. First step, second step, I will go for explaining them. Explanation is on Monday. Okay, now is on Monday. Shall I stop it? Yes. We'll stop it now, because Saturday you also enjoy half an hour before we are going for it. You also enjoy the weekend. I will also take care of my work. You also take care. Saturday special tawsif, yeah. So half an hour, only half an hour. Not more than that. Yes. Right. Okay, Jafar, where are you going, ma? Going to home. Monday is important, ma. Monday is important, Jafar. Don't miss that. Monday, don't miss it, ma. Jafar. Important. Don't miss it. Later you can go to home. You can go to home. Don't go now. Right. Good. Fine. Fine, ma. Thank you. All the best. Good day. This I am not going to upload.